Hello. Today is Tuesday, September 28th. We're live here with Carolina and Laura, and we're going to talk about the top programs to study for international students, which will lead them to the fastest and easiest PR for immigration to Canada. Okay. So we're here to understand the best programs for international students to become for the immigration purposes in Canada, right? So that's why we're here today, and we're here to cover those. So Carolina is our education manager. She specializes in education. Laura is connecting it from our operations in Colombia, and we're here to help everybody in terms of deciding what is the best program. So let's get started. I guess some of the things we're going to look at are employability after graduation as an international student, IT, culinary, which is basically cooking and hospitality, business, nursing, IT, software programmers, and engineering, right? So let's get started with the top 10 study programs for international students in Canada. So we'll leave it to Carolina to start, and then we'll go from there. We'll discuss them in detail.
Hi, everyone. Well, we're happy to discuss this topic because normally when students are trying to decide what to study in a different, completely new country, it's definitely not an easy task. So what we are doing here today is just try to give you the best programs that have a balance of everything, that they have access to good PR programs, that are programs that are going to lead you to find jobs, programs that don't have a very high entry requirements, and the tuitions. Some of them are pretty reasonable. Most of them are reasonable in comparison to other programs in Canada. Okay, so within this list, you're also going to find programs that are among the cheapest in Canada. Not all of them, but a good number of them are also very accessible in terms of tuition fees. So the first program, we're going to start, I think we are going to do this by province, Laura?
Yeah.
So we do this by province, right? Should I do a little introduction in Spanish?
Yeah, I was going to say that. A little bit in Spanish as well, yeah.
Perfect. So, yes, bienvenidos a todos. Estamos hoy tratando de entregarles información acerca de los mejores programas para estudiar cuando, en términos de estudiantes internacionales que quieran venir a Canadá. La decisión no es fácil, hay que tomar en cuenta diversos factores, y es por eso que creamos este listado para que tengan una noción de las mejores opciones, considerando factores como caminos para obtener la residencia, empleabilidad, requerimientos de admisión, y también los aranceles, el costo de los programas mismos. Dentro de esta lista van a encontrar programas que están dentro de los más económicos de toda Canadá. Los otros programas son bastante razonables considerando el costo de los programas aquí a nivel nacional. Vamos a empezar por provincias. So we're going to start with BC. So the thing is, BC, we're thinking on immigration. BC is at this time we can say that it's not the easiest PMP to go through. Rez is going to give you a little bit more in-depth information about it, but the reason why we are suggesting these programs are because they are great for PR. And also because these are not extremely costly programs when you think about a master, okay, a master in Canada, okay? So the first program that we would suggest is a master's degree in cybersecurity in BC. Why this program is basically because after you finish this program, you would have the opportunity to actually apply for PR. This program is about 20,000 Canadian dollars a year, and it lasts 2 years. So when you compare doing a master's for $20,000 or just go to a college in Toronto, which is $15,000 a year, obviously it's a little bit more costly, but the benefits are a lot higher. And the same is going to happen with the second option that we would like to suggest to you guys today, which is energy management, also a master's program in BC. Similar price, $20,000 a year. Básicamente, las dos primeras opciones que les estamos dando son opciones de máster en BC que les puedan proveer el camino más rápido, digamos, a obtener la residencia. Estos máster en cybersecurity y en energy management son másters que no solo tienen un camino directo a PR, sino que además permiten, digamos, una alta empleabilidad una vez que terminen. El coste de los másteres es alrededor de $20,000 canadienses al año, que al compararlo con un college que en Toronto, que puede salir 15,000, 16,000, o incluso en BC también, no es tanta la diferencia y los beneficios son mucho mayores. Reza, if you could explain a little bit more about the benefits of the PMP program in BC for the people that study and go through these programs.
Yeah, so basically, why would you want to pay $20,000 a year for a master's program in BC? Is A, because you can apply for your permanent residency directly after graduation. So yes, you study for a master's, you spend a lot of money, but you get A, higher education, which is good for your employability. Two, you apply through the provincial nominee program. In BC, it's not a points-based system, it's always open. And you can get nominated for PR. So no job offer, no work experience, right? So you're good to go. So basically, you're doing a fast track shortcut to your permanent residency. So instead of studying 2 years in a college and spending anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000, you're gonna spend $40,000 minimum for 2 years and be guaranteed your permanent residency as long as you meet the eligibility and you don't, take a break and you graduate successfully. So it is the best program out there for BC.
Okay, so Lara, where are we going next? Which province?
Well, next we are going to talk about the province of Ontario.
Okay, in Ontario. We have also, we would suggest, if possible, to also take a master's degree. The reason being also the PMP program. The PMP program in Ontario, again, is not the best in terms of eligibility, is not the easiest one. However, the graduate stream is actually really helpful in terms of accessing to PR. Also, obviously, Ontario, we wanted to provide an option because obviously it has great cities that attract a lot of international students. So the only issue with Ontario is that, of course, because it's one of the provinces that attract the most students, it has Toronto, one of the biggest cities in Canada. Obviously, the prices is a little bit higher. So today we wanted to find a university or a program that would give you, digamos, let's say a balance of tuition, but also having the option of apply to this graduate stream. So we have found a program in Windsor that we usually work very closely with. It's a great program. It's a master's degree in management, but you can also apply to different streams. It has human resources, supply chain, accounting, and data analytics. So it's a great option. It lasts only 16 months, which is a great alternative. And also, it's around $19,000 a year. Okay, so basically the program is cost a little bit less than the programs in Vancouver, in BC that we just mentioned, more or less similar. And as I said, it gives you that option to access to better jobs, to jobs that are in high demand, and also to apply through that graduate stream. Okay, so el número 3 en la lista, estamos recomendando en este minuto la ciudad de Windsor, un programa de management, de administración que tiene distintos especializaciones. Pueden especializarse en recursos humanos, en análisis de información, de datos, supply chain, I'm sorry. Laura, ayúdame con el término en español, supply chain. Cadena
Supply
de
chain
suministro.
es cadenas de suministro.
Estoy tratando de pensar cuál es la otra opción. Supply chain, accounting, contabilidad. Ya tienen esas 4 opciones. Es un programa súper versátil. Les da la opción de optar al programa provincial a través del stream de estudios postsecundarios. El valor es más o menos similar a BC, cuesta más o menos lo mismo que estudiar en un college. Estamos hablando de alrededor de 19, 20 mil dólares canadienses al año. Reza, any suggestions? I mean, any comments in terms of the Ontario PMP and the advantages of this program?
Why you would pay for a master's program and not go to college is, again, the same thing we discussed about BC. You want to apply directly for PR after you graduate, and Ontario has that. What is the advantage? You can study for an MBA. You, as Carolina said, you can study HR masters, accounting, strategic management, executive MBAs, whatever you want, as long as it's a public university, graduate level masters, or even PhDs, you can become eligible to apply for your PR directly. No job offer, no work experience, right? So those are the advantages. The
Very important. Yeah. For whom do we suggest, Reza, these programs?
Mature students, right? I mean, you know, you will still get a 3-year postgraduate work permit. So, you know, you don't have to be a mature student for, you know, 35 or 30 plus. But usually, let's say you're 40, you're 39, and you want to come to college and go find a job, not the best thing, right? You want to study, specialize, be ready for the labor market when you graduate, but get your PR in the process. Don't waste time because you're already 40 years old. So that's definitely what we recommend for Ontario.
Yep, thank you. So next on the list.
I would like to say it in Spanish because I think that it is important too.
It is important. You're totally right, Laura. Yes, go.
Bueno, entonces hablando un poquito de lo que estaba diciendo Reza sobre por qué son importantes los programas que mencionamos antes, que fue el de que se encuentra ubicado en British Columbia y en Ontario, es porque esos programas les sirven a las personas a tener un camino directo a la residencia permanente por medio de la maestría. Entonces sirve bastante para las personas que quieran realizar lo de la maestría o también que sean personas que tengan mayoría de edad, bastante edad, por ahí unos 39, 40 años, porque es una forma de conseguir la residencia directamente y no tienen en cuenta de cierta forma lo de la edad. Entonces, estos programas que mencionamos en British Columbia y en Ontario serían como los ideales para ese tipo de personas.
Exactamente. Perfect. Great. So then what's our 4th recommendation?
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
Yes. Okay, yes, Saskatchewan. Guys, what can I say about Saskatchewan? Saskatchewan is a great option. It's a really, really great option in terms of studies, in terms of PR. Is wonderful. It has a lot of options for people. The reason why normally people don't like going to Saskatchewan and the prairies in general, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, is because of the weather and the living. Not the living conditions. Living conditions are good. It's just these are very like smaller cities with how can I explain? There are a lot of focus on agriculture and this type of lifestyle is not necessarily for everyone. Now, if you're, for example, you're traveling with your family and you want a quiet place and you think that you can deal with the weather, we would definitely recommend it. One of the programs that we are, I chose basically this program because number one is a master's degree, and we know that why we are recommending at this point masters. It's not all that we're going to recommend, but specifically masters are going to give you obviously a little bit of an advantage to those who can actually apply to them. Why? Because a lot of the programs in immigration, for example, they require jobs that are no codes 0A or B, meaning a little bit higher in the employability scale, let's say. So obviously a master will maybe allow you to have better access to these positions. Also, masters count within the express entry profiles within your pretty much in any case, in any stream that you would like to apply to, a master's will add value to your application. So there are many benefits. And this program, specifically the programs in engineering in Regina, Saskatchewan, they have tuition fees around the 2,000, as you see on the screen, around the 2,000, 12,000, I'm sorry, 12,000 Canadian dollars a year, which is one of the lowest tuition fees, especially for a master course. It's not just that, but that also these programs have co-op. It's just here, this means that they have an internship. The internship that would allow you to connect with the industry while you are studying, which is really, really important and really helpful to later find a job. So I got a little bit carried away because I really think this is a great option for people that maybe to consider a lower cost option. Yeah, the living condition might become a little bit adverse at the beginning while you get used to the cold or the city, but it's a great option. It's a great quality institution and also low cost and great options for PR. So, Lara, can you help me with the Spanish version of Saskatchewan?
Ok, para hacer un breve resumen de lo que está diciendo Carolina sobre Saskatchewan, es que pues en cierta forma esta provincia muy pocas personas la suelen escoger debido al clima, que es como no tan urbana, sino más que todo rural, entonces es ideal para ir con las familias. Y igualmente Saskatchewan es una provincia muy buena porque los precios para lo de las maestrías son uno de los más bajos. Como pueden darse cuenta en la pantalla, se encuentran precios de $12,000 aproximadamente una maestría, que en otras provincias suelen estar costando más de $20,000, si no estoy mal. ¿Sí estoy bien, Carolina? Más de $20,000 más o menos una maestría, mientras que en Saskatchewan están alrededor de los 12,000, entonces es una buena opción. Y también algo positivo de estas maestrías es que tienen co-op, entonces permiten que las personas estudien durante un año o un semestre y pues puedan después trabajar durante esa maestría un semestre. Entonces también es una buena forma de pues hacerla la maestría y al mismo tiempo trabajar. Entonces como que más que todo recomendamos a Saskatchewan por el precio, pero sí tiene en cierta forma esa desventaja que es un poco rural y el clima también es más frío.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Reza, any comments on the immigration side of things?
Saskatchewan is great. One of the easiest places to become PR. Your work experience as a student will count towards the provincial nominee program. So if you have a job offer, if you study there, these are all great. It is one of the easiest programs, even with college education, even studying 1 year. You have great programs there. They're very flexible. You will basically be guaranteed a permanent residency. You might not have a good time, but you will become a Canadian. Okay, so I definitely recommend it, and it's very cost effective. Which university can you go to? Pay $11,400 a year. A master's, a co-op master's, Holy moly, this is crazy, you know? And then when you're there in the winter, don't curse us. We gave you a warning. It is
Yeah,
cold.
that's the thing. Remember, we're telling you the truth, so you're better prepared. But it's really worth it. I say, remember, after you get your PR, after you finish your studies, you can go anywhere in Canada, basically. So it's just a couple of years, and at the same time you're gonna be studying, you're gonna meet a lot of students. There are a lot of international students as well there. The university is quite big for the population. Obviously it's not a huge university, but it's a rather it has a mid-sized university with lots of students and a lot of things going on there. So it's not so bad.
Yeah, exactly. And like your parents and grandparents always told you when you were a kid, the truth hurts. And this is one of those truths. So let's get to the next. Let's get to
Okay,
the next.
so what do you have next?
The next is Manitoba.
Manitoba. So that's
Manitoba.
pretty much the cousin of Saskatchewan. So they are, again, it's a pretty good province in terms of options for students and for PR. I would say Saskatchewan offers better options than Manitoba in terms of PR. That's my personal opinion. Reza can confirm later, but definitely I'd say Saskatchewan PMP is a lot better. Also, the prices in Saskatchewan are way better, but Manitoba can be also a good alternative. We have a lot of clients that go there because they have family living there, for example. So programs that we would suggest in Manitoba, for example, always IT is good. If you want to study, for example, software developer, you're thinking about 17,000, about that a year. So it's not the cheapest in terms of tuition fees, but the PMP for diplomas or for certificates are, let's say, better than, for example, Ontario or British Columbia. So if you're going to Manitoba and you want to study an undergraduate level, the PMP can give you a hand there. So basically, la opción número 5 entonces, Laura.
La opción número 5 es en la provincia de Manitoba y esta provincia es muy similar en cierta forma a Saskatchewan y tienen programas de migración también muy buenos, aunque si comparamos lo que es Saskatchewan y Manitoba, en cierta forma Saskatchewan tiene un mejor programa de inmigración y también tiene precios más económicos, pero Manitoba puede ser otra alternativa también. De hecho, pues el programa que más recomendamos es Software Developer, como lo pueden ver en la pantalla, y está aproximadamente los precios de como $17,000 canadienses. En cierta forma no es tan económico como es Saskatchewan, pero si se compara con provincias grandes como lo es Toronto, como lo es Vancouver, los precios sí son más asequibles. Entonces, por esta razón, aquí tenemos Manitoba y recomendando Software Developer.
Perfect. Yes. So yeah, Manitoba and Saskatchewan. Reza, who would you recommend? I mean, what province?
Manitoba is definitely an industrial province. I've visited it before. There's a lot of opportunities for jobs. It's larger than Saskatchewan in terms of population, economic activity across different industry sectors. So I would definitely recommend Manitoba as an interesting alternative to Saskatchewan, a little bit more advanced, a little bit more populated. Winnipeg, the capital of Manitoba, is actually one of the largest cities, metropolitan cities in Canada. I think it ranks number 4, I think. Number 3 or 4 across Canada. So those are some advantages, and the provincial program is pretty good. There's a lot of high demand occupations, and what Carolina said makes perfect sense, because I don't know if anybody knows, but Skip the Dishes was or is a Canadian company that started in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And there's a lot of IT software development opportunities in terms of jobs, and again, to become a PR right after through the provincial program if you have a job offer and you're in a high demand occupation such as this one. Okay, so that makes perfect sense.
Okay, so we move on to we go to Nova Scotia.
Are we going Nova Scotia? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were going to talk about the
Okay,
Atlantic
the
process.
Atlantics. Yeah, from the
Yeah.
Atlantics, we're going to start with Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia, we wanted to suggest a couple of programs there. Again, the Atlantic, nowadays, I would say that is one of the best areas to immigrate right now. There is a lot of interest in new people and newcomers. So in general, there are many programs for immigration. There are many options for in-demand occupations for international students. There are many streams. In this case, we wanted to showcase a couple of programs. One in business analytics. Business analytics and everything that is related to IT, to be honest, is in demand in all Canada. If you're studying one of those programs, the chances are pretty high that you are going to be able to find a job after graduation. Okay. We have, for example, a business analytic, a graduate diploma, meaning after your bachelor's. If you're wondering, what can I do? These programs are very great, are very versatile because it allows you to work in any industry, right? Business analytics, you can apply to any industry, basically. It's a 2-year graduate diploma, and the cost is about 15,000, so a little bit less than, for example, Manitoba. It's pretty average. That I would say that's the average cost if you compare it to Ontario or BC, 15,000. So it's a very it's a good program, specifically this one, because these programs in Ontario, for example, can last only 1 year. So this program may be more for people that, for example, don't have a lot of experience in that area, so they can study the 2 years and feel good that they're gonna get all the knowledge they basically need for it. So that's one option. Another option that we wanted to suggest in Nova Scotia, and again in all Canada pretty much, it's nursing. If you are a nurse, if you study nursing back home, definitely do something about it. In Canada, especially after COVID, it's the #1 occupation in demand. We don't have enough nurses. It's a great option. Okay. So basically, the good thing about this second option, this nursing program, is that it's actually a 2-year bachelor's. What does this mean? Basically, in Canada, to be a practical nurse, which is kind of the lower end of nurses, you can study a diploma, a 2-year diploma, right? Now, with this bachelor's, you study 2 years, but you obtain a bachelor's, which allows you to become actually a registered nurse, which is a little bit higher up. And that means that you're going to get paid a little bit more. Of course, to enter this program, you need to have previous experience. But we get a lot of clients asking, I am a nurse in my country. How can I become a nurse? Well, this program is a great option because you would have to study only 2 years to actually become a registered nurse. It's competitive, but it's a really good option. And there are not many like this in Canada. There are a lot of bridging programs, but those are a little bit different. They not necessarily allow you, they don't grant you a bachelor's in nursing like this one. So sorry, I forgot to stop a little bit in between to explain to our Canadian, to our Spanish audience. But basically, Lara, do you think you can communicate all that?
I think that I can make a review for that. Resumiendo todo lo que estaba diciendo Carolina acerca de Nova Scotia, las dos carreras que vamos a recomendar, o los dos programas que vamos a recomendar, son Business Analytics y Nursing, pero igualmente estos programas no solamente se aplican para Nova Scotia, sino para todo Canadá. Entonces, lo que es Nursing y Business Analytics pueden servir igualmente para todo Canadá, pero pues en Nova Scotia y lo de las provincias del Atlántico, lo bueno es que son provincias más económicas, también tienen buenos programas de inmigración, y aparte de eso tienen una gran demanda y pueden conseguir trabajo después de la graduación. Entonces, hablando ya de Business Analytics y todo lo que tiene que ver también con IT, son programas muy buenos porque, como lo había mencionado anteriormente, tienen alta demanda con lo del trabajo. Y lo mismo con Nursing, que ya es como enfermería en cierta forma, y este programa sirve bastante para las personas que tienen experiencia en enfermería ya en el país de donde vienen. Entonces, por lo general, tienen que certificar esa enfermería, y pues lo bueno de este programa, que es un programa de 2 años, es que pueden realizarlo y después de esto ya pueden ejercer la enfermería, y ahorita está muy necesitada esta carrera, este programa, debido a lo de la pandemia. Entonces es un nursing, enfermería, es un programa como de alta demanda también. Entonces ahí resumí en pocas palabras lo que está diciendo Carolina. No sé si alguna cosa me faltó como para que me complementes.
Pretty good. Yes, definitely. We're getting some questions, Reza. I don't know if you would like to answer them
I
now
just
or
answered the optometrist question. So there's a span, because as an optometrist, unless you're eligible and ready to become licensed, you're not going to be selected on a provincial nominee. So you'd have to focus on express entry. Rosalba Ayala Luna has a question in Spanish. So I'll let you two.
Okay, yes. Hola Rosalba. Dice, ¿hay más posibilidades de que me aprueben la visa si aplico para una provincia como New Brunswick o Manitoba, en vez de aplicar a Toronto o cualquier ciudad más urbana? So basically, yeah, Reza, the question is, does she have more options in provinces like New Brunswick or Manitoba in comparison to Toronto or the bigger cities? Does she have more options to get approved? She doesn't say exactly she's applying for what, but in general, Rosalba, ¿qué tipo de visa? ¿O estás buscando algo en particular? Si nos puedes decir específicamente a qué estás aplicando. But in general, I would say yes. That would be my perspective. I don't know about you, Reza.
Yeah, I mean, so Manitoba and New Brunswick being better than Toronto or other places?
Basically, those are examples. She just wants to know, for example, if she would have more options to be approved if she applies to New Brunswick or Manitoba.
Like a study permit, la
That's
visa.
what I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. She wants a temporary visa. It doesn't really matter. If they're going to refuse you for a study permit, it doesn't matter if you're going to the North Pole or if you're going to Toronto. Okay, it just doesn't matter. You're either eligible and have a profile. So depending on your nationality, your educational gap, your financial resources, your employability, and your other ties to your home country. If you need questions, reach out to us, ingwe.ca. Always happy to assess your cases in case you need them. Here we go. That's our website down here, folks. Over here. Where's my finger? Here. Over here.
Yes, Rosalba, basically for the study permit, the province that you go to,
you should do it in
Spanish. It's not a big it doesn't make a big difference. This the difference comes when you are applying to PR. That's the difference. But if you're going to apply for a study permit, it really doesn't make a big difference. They're going to look into other things, right? Básicamente, si estamos hablando de un permiso de estudio, de la aplicación a permiso de estudio, no importa a qué provincia te estés yendo, ellos no van a mirar a qué provincia te estás yendo, sino van a mirar tu soporte financiero, tus vínculos con el país, la brecha de estudios, van a mirar todas estas características y van a emitir una decisión en base a eso. Las provincias te van a ayudar no necesariamente a la hora de aplicar el permiso de estudio, sino a la hora de aplicar a PR, a la residencia permanente. Ahí hay una gran diferencia y ahí la respuesta sería sí, de todas maneras te ayuda estas provincias que tienen más opciones de PR.
Okay, that sounds good.
That sounds good. Yeah.
So let's jump into the next province. Are we talking about New Brunswick?
New Brunswick, which is the most favorite province these days. New Brunswick is a great option, guys. Definitely these days they opened up. It's New Brunswick is not such a big province, but it's growing, right? And because it's growing, a lot of positions are opening, so they are opening their doors
I'm
to
just going to answer
newcomers as well.
Radeo's question. No, it will not affect your study permit if. Oh, shoot! Sorry. I mixed it up. I was trying to answer a question and said, "Go ahead. I'm going to mute my mic."
That's okay, no problem. And where you had a question on Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, but it was unrelated. So you go ahead there, and I'm just gonna mute it quickly here myself.
Sure. So yeah, New Brunswick is a great option, and that's why we wanted to give you a couple of options. In terms of masters, there is a university in New Brunswick where you can get a Master's of Management, Master en Administración, for about $16,000. That, as I said, is the same that a college in Toronto will cost you. So you can get a master's in management. It's a great alternative, 2 years. We also have other great options in terms of, for example, diplomas. A program that we would suggest is, for example, accounting. Anything financial also, it's always very high demand. So, for example, if you study a college diploma of 2 years in accounting in New Brunswick, that can be around 10,000 Canadian dollars. 10,000 Canadian dollars a year, which is one of the cheapest tuition fees across Canada. And that itself, it will give you different alternatives for PR. You have the Atlantic Immigration Pilot, you have the New Brunswick Express Entry. There are quite a few options that you could have access to. So yeah, Laura, if you can give us a hand with the...
Yeah, in Spanish. Okay. New Brunswick es nuestra siguiente provincia y ahí está hablando Carolina un poco en inglés, entonces yo les voy a explicar en español más o menos lo que estaba comentando. Y es que New Brunswick es una provincia que ahorita está siendo muy solicitada y está en crecimiento. Es una provincia pequeña, pero lo bueno de esta provincia es que está en crecimiento y que está teniendo varias oportunidades y dando varias oportunidades. Entonces, el primer programa que había mencionado Carolina era una maestría, y las maestrías igualmente en New Brunswick están económicas, no comparadas con Saskatchewan, pero teniendo en cuenta que New Brunswick es una provincia que está más desarrollada, está en crecimiento y tiene también varios programas de migración. Entonces, de cierta forma, $16,000 canadienses son económicos para una maestría. Entonces, en esta ocasión, la maestría que estamos hablando es de Management, que es una maestría que sirve más que todo a nivel general para cualquier tipo de carrera. Entonces, es un punto positivo. Y ya el otro programa del que estábamos hablando era un diploma, también en New Brunswick. Ese diploma en New Brunswick en general, los diplomas en New Brunswick están en $10,000 canadienses. Entonces, también es una versión bastante económica para lo que es un diplomado, porque en otras provincias como son Ontario, Vancouver, tienden a costar bastante, como más de $16,000, $17,000 canadienses. Entonces, esta versión es más económica y lo que son los temas de financieros, de contabilidad, de administración de negocios, sirven bastante y tienen bastante auge también en Canadá y pues en New Brunswick.
Rest, in terms of immigration options in New Brunswick, I just mentioned a couple: Atlantic Immigration Pilot, the Express Entry Program. There's a good variety there of options.
Yes, exactly. And it is a provincial nominee program or federal or the regional programs available to you there. And these programs that we're recommending means your employability. So if you do a master's program or even this college program that Carolina mentioned in New Brunswick, you can gain a job quicker. The New Brunswick system is a points-based system for PR. So remember that being employable, studying something that you'll find a quick job is important. That's why we recommend this program. So it's a good program, good province, very, very helpful people there, very kind. They're trying to attract more foreigners and internationals and students and workers. So that's good. Let's jump to the question there and then move on to the next province, if you agree, sure. Right? Carlos Gomez is saying, I'm a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, but I applied as a real estate agent because of my current occupation. CRS score 438. Should I wait for FSW, which is the Foreign federal skilled worker program, or try for work visa sponsorship or else. 438 is not the greatest, Carlos, for an applicant in express entry from outside of Canada with no Canadian experience. It's fine that you're a real estate agent, but you have a mechanical engineering degree. That's fine. I mean, it's very normal. But whether you will be selected as a PR under 438, I don't think so, at least for the next 1.5 years, at least until we see if there's any changes. 438 is too low. I would say you'd have to look at 460 plus to really be competitive. I would definitely look at alternative work visa sponsorship or other alternative routes to come to Canada earlier or to have a faster route for permanent residency. Okay, so let's jump into the next province.
Next and last one, we added here our smallest province of PEI, Prince Edward Island. It's actually it's the smallest province, but actually it is growing as well. It has, if you think about the amount of population, it has a lot of job offers, especially in the food and beverage industry. So it's easy to find jobs in restaurants. If you're a restaurant manager, if you study culinary, you're a cook, all of those options are really, really great. And for example, if you study culinary arts in a college in PEI, when I say in a college, these programs that we're giving you and the prices that we're giving you are very specific to certain colleges. Okay, not all of them cost this. We're just trying to give you the best options. If you want more information about these colleges, please let us know. But for example, 1 year in this particular college will cost you around 11,000. Culinary, it's a little bit more expensive because you have to buy supplies and all of this. There are programs in this same college in PEI that are around $8,500. So the price is really, really good. Again, it's a very friendly, nice island. There is a lot of work. As I'm saying, like the tourism industry, food and beverage industry, all of that is opening, and it's in high demand right now. Of course, programs in nursing and support workers as well. Small island, but there is also a great demand there. So, yeah.
En español, hablando pues más que todo de la última provincia que vamos a nombrar, que es Prince Edward Island. Esta provincia es una de las más pequeñas, pero también tiene bastantes oportunidades y alta demanda en lo que es toda la parte de hotelería, de culinaria, como lo pueden ver acá en este programa que estamos recomendando, de Culinary Arts. Este programa está aproximadamente en $11,250 canadienses y pues aparte de eso también hay otros programas que pueden estar más económicos, solo que pues lo que es culinaria tiende a costar un poquito más, pero igualmente es económico porque está en alta demanda, está teniendo muchísimas ofertas de trabajo porque la industria del turismo está muy fuerte en esta isla, en Prince Edward Island. Entonces, por esto terminamos como con la parte de turismo acá, pero también en Prince Edward Island pueden encontrar trabajos y también programas interesantes en la parte de cadenas de suministro, en la parte financiera, y pues lo de culinaria también está en crecimiento en prácticamente Canadá, pero pues en lo que son esta de Prince Edward Island también está fuerte.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that would be our 10 recommendations, the reasons why. Again, we were just trying to give you guys options of high employability, good PR options, decent tuition fees, like a balance of everything. So you have maybe an easier time trying to choose your program. If you have any questions, we're here to answer any questions about your options or whatever. It's always easier when you have somebody that from the country that can give you a hand choosing the program. That's my job. That's what I do. So if you have any questions, reach out to us there.
Exactly. So we're here to help. If you have questions, you need help with admissions or visas or just an admission, you don't need to worry. Our team is here. We work with over 100 schools across Canada, over 10,000 programs. We know which programs are bad, which ones are not easy for PR, permanent residency, immigration. So we know all the little details, because why? Do not reinvent the wheel. What does that mean? Thousands of international students have come over the years and gone through these programs and provinces. Why do you want to experiment? Why do you want to be the laboratory rat? Reach out to us. We'll let you know who's successful, who hasn't, what's the easiest route, what's the most efficient route, and you will save time, money, and you will not pull out your hair or be frustrated. So that's basically the top programs we recommend for international students for the fastest and easiest immigration path to become permanent residents here in Canada, which is your PR basically, right? So I don't know if you want to do that in Spanish. I don't know, Laura, Carolina.
I think Laura is doing a great job.
Yeah.
Bueno, ya saben esto, para también dar finalizando esta directa en español también, entonces les voy a decir un poco de lo que estábamos hablando en inglés, y es que les recordamos a ustedes que nosotros ayudamos aquí a todas las personas para lo que son las admisiones a los colleges. Aquí está Carolina con nosotros, que es la experta en educación, y pues ella está ayudándonos a nosotros esto para cualquier opción que tengan de college, y nosotros brindamos como las mejores opciones porque miramos el perfil de la persona, y teniendo en cuenta ese perfil, analizamos qué tipo de programa es mejor, un diplomado, una maestría. Entonces es más personalizada como esas opciones que brindamos, y también ayudamos con el proceso de lo de las visas. Y pues estamos nosotros todos los martes a las 9 de la mañana y 5 de la tarde, y hora pues Toronto, y ya a las 8 de la mañana, 4 de la tarde, hora Colombia, México. Entonces eso es como el horario, todos los martes haciendo directos. No sé si hay alguna cosa que me faltó, Carolina, por si acaso quieres complementarme.
Nada, solo decirles que es eso. Básicamente, yo sé que mucha gente tiene temor a trabajar con agentes. Es por eso que nos gusta hacer estos live, para que la gente vea que en realidad, sí, obviamente hay un interés económico, somos agentes, pero también hay un interés importante en la calidad humana, en tratar de ayudar a las personas a escoger la mejor opción dentro de sus posibilidades. Cuando ustedes nos contactan, básicamente lo que hacemos es, como Laura mencionó, tratar de buscar la mejor opción de acuerdo a su perfil, de los recursos económicos que tengan. Digamos, nosotros no solo somos una agencia de educación, sino que además somos una agencia de inmigración. Por lo tanto, si no es educación, de repente podemos ver cualquier otra opción, cualquier otra vía, y asesorarlos de la mejor manera. So, Reza, I was just saying that basically just wanted to add that we know that a lot of people are a little bit, are not really keen on working with agents, but I just wanted to say that basically there is an interest for us. This is what we do. This is our business, but we also care about the people, and we try to help them as much as possible based on their own, their background, their possibilities, their interests, what they want, and we're here for that.
Perfect. Thanks, everybody. So I think that's all the questions we've had. We've gone through all the best programs. We're here every Tuesday, 9 a.m., 5 p.m. Eastern time, which is 4 p.m., I guess, in Colombia, Argentina, Peru, Mexico, maybe even Chile. So we'll be back here next Tuesday. Every week we have a different theme, but one thing that doesn't change is we do answer all of your questions that you post on our comments live during these sessions. So that's a huge advantage to join us every week on Tuesdays. Thanks, Carolina. Thanks, Laura, for joining us. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We'll be back, and reach out to us on our website and our social media platforms. Take care. Bye-bye.